Okay, guys, we are on chapter 14, or we're done with chapter 14 now. So let's go over our assignments for today's chapter. As always, you have the link there so you can look back. Some of you guys don't end up doing that, and I can tell in your assignments. So make sure if you ever need to, the link's right here, and you can find it on the Lone Tree page too, and go look at the Hatchet book for yourselves. Okay, again, there's a link and our layout of everything, just in case we forget, you can pause to look at it. But here's our first assignment. So your written response for today for chapter 14. Now that we are nearing the end of our book, I want you guys to make another prediction. So we made a prediction, I think, in one of the first couple chapters about what you wanted or what you thought was going to happen at the end of the book. So now that we're a lot further in the book, I want you guys to make another prediction. So make a prediction about what you believe will happen by the end of the book now. Being chapter 14, we only have about 5 chapters left, so we're very close to the end. So now that we know a lot more about Brian and his situation, make another prediction now with all the information you have. You have a lot more information than we did in the first part of the book about what's going to happen. Focus on the key point of whether you think Brian is going to be found or not. And don't just say, I do think he will or I won't. Make sure you explain why or why not. Brian has a lot of skills now. He's been in the wilderness for, we know now, over 40 days. So explain why or why not you think he's going to be found. You can even talk about why or why not you think he's going to survive. Maybe if you don't think he's going to be found, you can explain why you think he will or won't survive since he won't be found according to you. Okay, so make sure you explain in detail. I always have those words there, details, be specific. We got to make sure that's why it's at least 5 sentences. So make sure you copy down these questions and then answer it underneath with at least 5 sentences. I've been keeping it 5 sentences because a lot of you are trying to get away with writing less. I want to make sure you're writing that complete paragraph with at least those 5 sentences. Okay. Your vocabulary for today, you already did the definition yesterday for chapter 13. So for chapter 14, you have punky, infuriating, exalted, rectify, vital, and streamlined again. You already did the definitions, which means today you need to write each vocab word in a complete sentence. And I do mean complete. I even underlined and bolded it for you this week to make sure you guys understand, because I've seen some of you writing just maybe 3 or 4 words as a sentence. That is not a complete sentence. I want to see a complex sentence that has more to it than just 4 words that just has the vocab word in the sentence. I want to see complete and complex sentences. Okay, and then your last assignment for today. You guys have done this, I believe, twice now throughout our activities and assignments so far. It's another rewrite the scene for chapter 14. So in chapter 14, Brian experiences an incident involving a skunk. I want you to rewrite this scene as if Brian handled seeing the skunk in a different way. Instead of having him throw sand on it or sand at it and having it spray him, decide how the scene could have been done differently. So you need to rewrite it. And again, I put all your bullet points down here because you need to make sure you have these 5 things involved in your rewriting the scene. So it says, be sure to first explain how Brian handled the situation. So change what happened. That's your first step to make sure you understand how are you going to have Brian handle the scene differently or the situation. The second thing you got to make sure you do is that you write down the thoughts that might be going through Brian's head. In this book, it talks a lot about what Brian's feeling in particular moments. So you guys need to make sure you keep up with that. And in your part of the scene, you write down what's going through his mind as he handles that situation. The third thing, as always, be specific about what happens. Details and specifics are very important, especially as a writer. The fourth thing, write as if you were the author. So you're Gary Paulson for this scene. You're just rewriting it in a different way. And then the last thing says, include enough details and information for your reader to understand your scene. So after you write it, you can go have somebody at your house read it. If it doesn't make sense to them, then we may need to add things to it, more detail and specific things so that it does make sense. Okay? So your 3 assignments for chapter 14 are your written response, your vocabulary sentences, and then make sure you rewrite that scene. Remember, if you need to, go back in this video and pause it at certain parts. If you need to write down the written response questions or you need to see the vocabulary sentence directions or the rewrite the scene, go back and pause the video. And as always, after you're done with these assignments, make sure you go into your Class Dojo portfolio and turn them all in. They all have their separate folders, so get that picture and send it in so you can get checked off. And I'll see you for chapter 15.